Once upon a time in the heart of the jungle, there lived a big elephant. He was the biggest and the strongest animal in the forest. He would walk around the jungle with his head held high, looking down at everyone. One day, the elephant was taking a stroll through the tall grasses when he saw a little mouse. He was busy pushing a crumb twice his size. The elephant stopped and looked down at the mouse. He couldn't help but laugh at the sight. "What are you doing there, little mouse?" he asked, his voice booming like thunder. "Can't you find anything better to do? Here you are wasting your time with a piece of bread." The little mouse looked up at the elephant and said, "I may be small, but even I can achieve great things if I try hard enough. You should never judge someone by their size." The elephant just laughed and said, "You talk a big game for such a tiny mouse. What can you really do? You're nothing but a pest." The mouse didn't argue. Instead, he pushed his crumb to the side and said, "Well, you already know what I can do, Mr. Elephant. I can push things twice my size." The elephant thought for a moment. "That sounds pretty impressive, little mouse. But how is that supposed to help anyone? All you do is push crumbs around." "You might be right, Mr. Elephant," the mouse replied. "But everyone has their own abilities. Just because yours are different from mine doesn't mean they're not important." The elephant snorted. "Well, I guess I'll let you have your fun, but don't come crying to me when a hawk swoops down and takes you away." And with that, the elephant turned and walked away, leaving the mouse to his work. The mouse continued pushing his crumb across the ground until he reached an ant hill. As he approached, the ants began to swarm around him, each one trying to pull the crumb back into their hill. "Hey, get off me, you little ants," the mouse squeaked. "I found this crumb first." "We don't care who found it," an ant replied. "It's big enough for all of us to share." The mouse shook his head and continued on his way. He didn't need the ants' help. He could take the crumb back to his nest all by himself. As he turned to go, he heard a twig snap behind him. He turned just in time to see a hawk swooping down towards him, its sharp talons extended, ready to grab the mouse and make a quick meal of him. The mouse froze in fear. He had been so focused on his task that he hadn't heard the hawk approaching. Now it was too late. The hawk was almost on top of him. In a panic, the mouse dropped the crumb and started running. He darted between the trees, the hawk close behind. The mouse could hear its wings beating furiously as it gained on him. He had to get away, but where could he hide? Then he saw it, a small hole in the trunk of a nearby tree. He dashed towards it and squeezed himself inside. The mouse looked back. The hawk was too big to fit in the hole, but it wasn't giving up. It began to claw at the wood, trying to break it apart and get to the mouse. The mouse watched in horror as the hawk slowly began to tear the tree apart. He knew that if it broke through, he would be finished. Just when he thought all hope was lost, he heard a loud voice boom through the forest. "Get out of there, you dirty bird, before I crush you." The mouse looked back in amazement. The elephant was standing at the entrance to the hole, his tusks raised, ready to attack. The hawk screeched and flew backwards, giving the elephant enough time to charge forward. He swung his tusks, hitting the hawk right in the chest. The bird cried out in pain and crashed to the ground. The elephant stood over him, his eyes flashing with anger. "How dare you try to eat my friend? You're lucky I was there or you would have killed him." The hawk struggled to get to his feet, but the elephant wouldn't let him. He stepped on the bird's wing, pinning it to the ground. "Stay down there, you coward," the elephant said. "You picked on a mouse and I won't stand for it." The hawk whimpered, knowing he had been defeated. He tried to argue that he was only trying to find food, but the elephant wouldn't listen. Finally, the elephant let the hawk go and the bird limped away, vowing never to return. The mouse came out of his hiding hole and looked at the elephant in awe. "Thank you, Mr. Elephant. You saved my life." The elephant smiled. "No problem, little mouse. I know you're strong and brave. You didn't have to pretend to be weak in front of me." The mouse was confused. "What do you mean? I never pretended to be weak." The elephant laughed. Oh, little mouse, you're so tiny. I thought you were being clever by pretending to push that crumb around. But now I see you're much stronger than you look. The mouse blushed. I wasn't pretending, Mr. Elephant. I really did find that crumb and I wanted to take it home. It was just a game for me. The elephant nodded. Well, it's a good thing you were playing. If you hadn't, that hawk would have eaten you. The two friends stood there for a moment, both lost in thought. Finally, the elephant spoke. Little mouse, I want to apologize for what I said to you earlier. I'm sorry I made fun of you and your size. I know now that it doesn't matter how big or small you are. What matters is what's inside you. The mouse smiled. It's all right, Mr. Elephant. I understand. You probably didn't know any better. The elephant shook his head. No, I was wrong, and I want to make things right. From now on, I will never underestimate anyone again, no matter how small. The mouse nodded. That's all I ask, Mr. Elephant, and I promise you this. No matter how big or small someone is, if they try hard enough, they can achieve great things. And with that, the elephant and the mouse became the best of friends. They spent their days playing together in the jungle, and they never forgot the day that the elephant learned to respect the little mouse. From that day forward, the elephant became known throughout the jungle for his kindness and his wisdom. The animals loved him, and he was never again seen mocking someone for being small. As for the mouse, he continued to live his life, always reminding everyone that even the smallest creature can accomplish great things if they try hard enough. And so the story of the elephant and the mouse has been passed down from generation to generation, teaching all who hear it an important lesson about respect and tolerance.